All right, let's do a follow-up on Lost. I made a video talking about all of that the day after I finished it, and now that I've been watching videos of Damon Lindelof talking about it and watched all sort of videos really explaining what was going on more clearly. I had an idea of what was going on, or I did get a lot of it, but because you're watching so much and having to process a lot, sometimes it's hard to really make certain distinctions or have, you know, as much clarity as I would like. So now that I've watched all sorts of breakdown videos talking about it and making even more sense of it than I had already you know gotten, I just wanted to do a follow-up and talk more about it because I can't stop thinking about this shit. I can't stop thinking about this fucking show. Yeah, the time loop aspect of it is really fucking cool. The fact that it's everything leads to this, and then because this goes and leads to that, it leads to everything going into this, and then it's just this constant like loop of things affecting each other, and then that being why this affects this, and then it becomes, you know, just that endless cycle of how that time loop works. Also, season 6, the flash sideways, and the fact that all of that was essentially whether it was purgatory or just a version of their lives that had never actually happened. That was a really interesting way to make sense of the ending. Like all that whole flash sideways is absolutely an important, like the main part of what the very end of the series, what its meaning is. So I'm amazed at how much they had to improvise in season 3, and I think I definitely said in my other video that season 3 was, you know, clearly not a mess, but it's clearly they were figuring out what the fuck they were doing, and the pacing and the overall vibe of season 3 is very different. Having said that, it's incredible that they made it as good as it was and made it make as much sense and have as much cohesion as it did, having dealt with that. I mean, Jesus Christ, hats off to these people and these writers that it was this ambiguous, like, you know, not to use that word, of course the whole show is ambiguous, but when they were making season 3, apparently they didn't know if they were going to keep going or not. It was one of those, like, are they going to cut us off at this season, or are they going to want us to keep extending it? So they were really in a clusterfuck of a situation and dealing with that nightmare. Absolutely sounds like the most stressful thing any TV showrunner could deal with. And yet they made it work, and it makes sense. Season 3 isn't necessarily bad. It just feels like they were clearly stalling, not sure of where they were allowed to go. They were not sure which direction they were even going to take with it. Now, despite that, season 3 still works, and it actually made a lot of sense with Ben's backstory and you know, Mr. Echo. A lot of the things that a lot of the seeds that they planted in there actually worked out later on and made a lot of sense. To me, at least, it's different binging it versus watching it weekly, obviously. So, yeah, I think this show was just so refreshing, and I don't know why I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop talking about it. I'm annoying everybody in my life, telling them to watch it and recommending it. And it's been a long time since I've had a show impact me in that way, or it feels like I can't let it go. And that's so rare for me. It's rare to feel like once something ends, I only want to revisit it again, and I only want to like get more out of it. I'm watching so many YouTube videos that are talking about it, and yeah, fuck, this shit is really, really good. And it's one of those, you kind of, I don't want to say you need to watch a show that breaks down all of it and explains everything. It's just, it helped me appreciate everything a lot more. It helped me you know, just understand a lot of the things that I might have not been thinking about. You know, it's the Lost, when you're watching Lost, it's the experience is basically you're so amazed and excited about a lot of the things that are happening, and there's so many exciting things that are happening that there might be a few moments that slip through the cracks, or because it's kind of all over the place, it's easy to kind of lose track of like, okay, like, wait, what the hell is happening? Lost is kind of shit, you can't watch it out of chronological order, right? I also wanted to mention a couple of things that I forgot to mention in the other video. I did write it in the description, but I got to talk about it. I thought it was funny how many of these, I think these writers have serious daddy issues. What the fuck is going on with the fact that they all have like issues with their fathers? Like Locke's father threw him out of a fucking building. Jack had to sell his father down the river. Kate blew her stepdad up. Sawyer's dad fucking killed his mom and killed himself. Hurley's dad came back into his life after he wins the lottery. Ben has issues with his dad being a drunk, kind of just depressed piece of shit. Walt and Michael have a messy a rough relationship after they get back home in New York, and Michael has to tell him that he killed Libby and Ana Lucia. And I feel like I'm only scraping the iceberg of that. What is up with all of these characters having horrible fucking daddy issues? Not parental issues, daddy issues. Jin and Sun having to deal with Sun's dad being a fucking like insanely controlling dickhead. Like, what the fuck is up with that theme? And I wonder if that's a huge theme of the show, or if that's like the point of all that is our father, you know? And I know Damon Lindelof is so obsessed with like religion, and that's such a spirituality, such a theme in his shows. As much as I'm not a spiritual person, I love and appreciate that very much in storytelling, and what that means when it comes to being a human being. But I just thought that was hilarious, and I wanted to point that out because I was amazed at how consistently I just had this feeling of like, wait, this person's dad is a piece of shit too. Like every father in the entire show is just a shit bag, basically, and I thought that was pretty funny. I'm wondering if the writers are trying to tell us something, or if they got some issues there. So I'm wondering what everyone has. I'm wondering what you guys might think of that, or what you guys might have to say about that, because I hope I'm not the only one I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who noticed that. The other thing I really wanted to say is this show, my favorite thing that I took away from it, or what I really loved and how much it really changed my life, and I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. This show completely changed my life and how I live day to day when it comes to being okay with not having all the answers. I was okay with not everything being explained. I was okay with not having all of it point blank, this means this means that. I love that shit because it makes me just come up with my own version of it, or forces me to kind of look at it however I want. I know I said before in the other video that, the numbers could be like just mathematics connecting all of it. The numbers are a little more than that, obviously. The significance of them, it seemed like we didn't get a ton of clarity on that, but it's also like, I don't think we really need to. To me, I associate the numbers with just like that it just is what it is. It's almost like, a lot of other fantasy or science fiction stories, you kind of just, that's just how it is, it's just accepting that. Granted, yeah, we didn't get much about, as much as I thought we were going to get about the numbers. I thought Walt's character was going to be implemented a lot more, and I thought we were going to see like some sort of superpowers that he had because of his stepdad telling Michael that there's, when he's around, something changes him. I thought Walt was the reason that the plane went down, but Walt's character clearly kind of gets written out at some point. But a lot of these things, we can just come up with our own meaning behind it, or come up with our own answers. I'm okay with not having the answers to those things. I don't know why. Normally I'm the kind of person that's, I don't know, in all honesty, I really don't overanalyze these things either, though. I just look at that as just, oh yeah, those numbers are cursed. Like, that's all that it is. Those numbers have some sort of, link to the bad omens, or the devil, or like the numbers could literally be translated to, like the how at the end, basically, the cork, or that thing that plugs in the light, is keeping all of the bad shit out. It keeps all of the evil suppressed from the real world. So I look at the numbers as kind of being related to that, as, the numbers were like a link to all that bad, evil shit that was happening on the island. you know, in Walt's character, we actually do get an epilogue online. I think it's called New Man in Town or whatever the hell it is. It's like, it's a little bit of an epilogue that they shot where, you know, we see Ben at the with the Dharma Initiative, or back in that area with working with those people at least, and we kind of see what happened with the island outside of everything else. And Walt, I have to watch it still. Kind of ridiculous that I didn't watch it. I'm trying to talk about it right now, but I skimmed through it a little bit and got an idea of like, okay, they're just kind of giving us these little bits of extra, you know, these extra moments for people that might want to have a little bit of closure with that. But yeah, the show it made me okay with not having the answers right away in my own life. I'm okay with not everything being explained or not everything making sense now. For some reason, the show kind of completely shifted my mind it shifted my mind in a not feeling like I have to hyperanalyze everything and that I don't have to overthink it. It's helped me not overthink everything, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I love that. I love that it's helped me. I have a bad problem with like overthinking everything. Every feeling I have, every interaction I have with everybody, I have a horrible habit of that. So this show kind of, I don't know, it made some sort of shift in me that, you know, where basically I don't have to know everything right away. I don't have to have all the results right now. I don't have to have all the answers. And I love that. I really loved that. That was the main takeaway that I took from it. Was that like not everything does get resolved. Not everything is answered, and not everything, like, that's life. That is just life. Is you're going to have to deal with so many things not making sense, so many things not having any reasoning to them. Like that's just, it's helped me accept that about the chaos of our universe, that nothing really has, I don't want to say nothing has any meaning, but that nothing has any reason to it, and it all is what it is. And I don't have to control everything. I don't have to have so much control over my own existence, because there is a limit to the control that we all have. There's a limit to all the things that we can do, and all of the questions that we'll have answers to them. So there's that doesn't go away. I'm a firm believer that, like, we're just kind of, a big part of, like, suffering in this world is having to deal with nothing making any fucking sense at all. So maybe the show helped me with that as well. And there are so many things that do make sense in the show. What I mean is, when I was watching it, I never had a moment of like, oh, well, I need this to be answered now. I need this to, I just kind of let it be. I just kind of let it happen. And I let it flow as it did. And I didn't, I don't know, I just kind of released my expectations of it, and I didn't care what happened in the end, because I was just kind of trying to enjoy it and trying to, like, live in the moment. It forced me to, like, live in the moment of what's happening in the show and not worry so much about where it's going. The show doesn't, the end result is not, like, the point of the journey is what it is to me. Like, I don't give a fuck about the ending. I love that the ending had this kind of moving on, our spirits moving on to the next life kind of vibe to it. And yeah, I don't know. I'm so grateful that this show was made. I'm so grateful that these people made this amazing piece of work, and I'm glad I gave it a chance. I'm glad I really gave it the time of day, because this show really, really made a huge impact on me in my life. And I am forever thankful for that. So, yeah, just a little follow-up on Lost. I'm just very fascinated by this, and I can think about this every day and talk about it endlessly with other people, because it's that kind of story. So, yeah. If anybody wants to talk about any of these things at all, I'm always going to be in the comments section. If you guys literally want to have a conversation in the comments about this stuff, I'm always down for it. I feel like an asshole saying this and no one comments on these fucking things, but it doesn't matter. It's just, it'll be here. It's not going anywhere. These videos will be around as long as YouTube and the internet is, because I don't plan on taking them down. So like I say, yeah, if anybody wants to talk about these things at all, I'm so invested in this and I'm so fascinated by all of it. So let's talk about it. Let me know. Go watch Lost again if you've already seen it, and if you haven't, watch it for the first time and enjoy. Life is beautiful.